Hello and welcome to the Hindu editorial discussion. Today we are going to discuss on the newspaper of November 5th, 2020. My name is Ryan Pinto. Today's topic for discussion is Indian economy, election reforms and commission, federalism, language and federalism. So what are we going to discuss today? We are going to discuss about some changes that needs to be done in Indian economy considering the COVID-19 and the investment situations, etc. Second topic we are going to see is election reforms and the role of election commission, model code of conduct. All these points we are going to see. Third topic is on federalism. We are going to see center state relation, focusing on GST and financial matters. And the last point is language and federalism, focusing on regionalism and Karnataka, state of Karnataka. So let's go ahead with the topic. So when we talk about industrial revolution, it started in the 1750s. There was 4 phases of industrial revolution. It is first phase was mechanization, which was helped by steam power, water power, etc. Second phase was mass production, assembly line, electricity. Third was in the 1970s, that is computer and automation, and the fourth is recently we are in the fourth industrial revolution, cyber physical system. So you have to just remember these 4 phases: mechanization, mass production, computer, and the fourth phase which we are going through now. So what are we talking today? Why are we discussing this evolution and why are we focusing on now? When we talk about making jobs or creating jobs, the first thing that we must know is industrial or industries are the region is the section or that part of the society which creates a lot of job. But problem in industries in India is we have not been able to pull investments. We have not been able to grow in the industrial sector. We directly jumped from agricultural sector to the services sector, which has hurt the economy. What are the changes that we need? How can we attract more investors? That is what we must be able to think today, or we are going to discuss now. Fixing the rules of the economy. The fundamentals of the game have to change as they currently favor wealthy investors and not workers and tiny enterprises. You must have noticed, even in the economic outlook or in the World Economic Forum, the reports have shown that in India, few people are very rich and the GDP is mostly owned by them. 1% of the top Indians own the GDP, that is around 73% of GDP. So these are the numbers you should keep in mind. Lot of inequality. Unemployment rates are one of the highest recently. So keeping these things in mind, we need to fix some rules of economy. So people might be thinking, what are the steps which we can take? So this editorial is a beautiful editorial on what steps we need to take so that we can improve our economy. It will help you in answering your UPSC questions. India has an income crisis. Incomes of people in the lower part of the pyramid are too low. So you must remember the income crisis are felt by a country. The per capita income we have seen recently, we are below Bangladesh. We have reached below Bangladesh. Bangladesh is $1,888. We are $1,877. Though there are other factors like population, but we are in an income crisis. Our the position people, those who are very rich, they earn a lot, whereas those who are in the bottom half, that's in the bottom most lowest section, Antyodaya, they are not earning much. What are the solutions? So we have seen the problems, we have seen what is the statistics. The next thing that should come to your mind is what is the solution to improve the situation. So first is free up the markets, second is improve productivity, and third is apply technology. So when you write your answers, these are the solutions that you can give: free up markets, improve productivity, and apply technology. Not only for the answers, it's if you have to question the government on how can we improve the economy, you must give these 3 points. That is free up markets, improve productivity, and third is apply technology. So let's see these solutions. Number one, free up markets. Economists say markets should be freed up for agricultural products so that farmers can get higher prices. This is what recently the government has been trying to do by bringing the farm bills. But the problem is these things were there earlier also. Did it affect the farmers' income? That is a question mark. And that is why the question of MSP has again and again come up. Recently, farmers in Haryana and Punjab are fighting against the steps taken by the government because they do not trust the government. MSP is needed. That is what they say. So, first point is free up the markets. I gave you the positives as well as the negatives. This will also help in attracting investment. Second, in the same free up the markets, the second is labor to attract investment. It is inadequate growth of incomes that has caused a slump in investment. The purpose of freeing up markets for labor is to reduce the burden of wages. So just remember, so uh, if the reason why labor is needed is so that the freeing up of the labor is needed so that to reduce the burden of wage cost on investors. What happens is if you keep a minimum and a compulsory amount of wages to be given, then investors find it difficult. They want, so you must understand, investors want as much as profits as possible. And when rules are kept that you have to pay the laborer so much, then they are skeptical. They don't enter such markets. So freeing up the labor is, this is one of the objective. But will it help in increasing the productivity? Will it help in giving human rights? That's another question. Human rights must prevail over economic consideration. This is what the writer has to say. Good markets enable smooth transaction. So the writer is saying then we need to have a balance between freeing up the market as well as human rights. So this is about freeing up the markets. So we saw the agricultural point of view, we saw the labor point of view, positive, negative. Decision then needs to be taken by the people in command. Second is improvement of productivity. So second way of uh, increasing the economy is productivity, increase of the productivity. What is productivity? It is a ratio of an input in the denominator and an output in the numerator. It means how much you put in input and what you get in return. That is productivity. So the larger the output that is produced with a unit of input, the higher the productivity. So if you are able to get more things by putting less things, that's better productivity. And we need to focus on increasing our productivity. Companies can apply two broad strategies for improving their productivity. They can take managerially more difficult route of increasing the output of the, so you must remember companies can have two broad strategies. They can take the more difficult managerial route, okay, or what they can do is they can give more skills and all to the laborers and get in the uh, more productivity from the managerial route is by giving them incentives or by giving them punishments, giving the workers punishments, incentives, etc. This may require adding more machines and technology to supplement the capacity of workers to increase total output. This is a good strategy. So managerial route also includes giving more investments, putting more capital rich enterprises, bringing more technology. On the other hand, employers can enhance the workers' skills, as I have told you. Workers' skills can be enhanced, create a culture of continuous improvement in the factory whereby workers and managers cooperate to improve the capability of their system. So till now we are seeing two things. First is the managerial route, and in second one we are seeing improving the workers skills. This is a strategy of total quality management with which Japanese companies reduce their costs. So just imagine, Japan today is considered to be one of the best in technology and in industries. So they were able to use this total quality management route by increasing the productivity. So first we saw freeing up the markets. Second, we are seeing improving the productivity. So remember these points in mind. So if we want to grow our country, this is the strategy we should be following. Humans are the only appreciating assets in an enterprise. So just remember, in an enterprise, whenever you become an IAS officer, or if you are heading a company or a manager of a company, you should be remembering this, that humans are the only appreciating assets. What happens is we focus on all the other things. We focus on all the factors of production, that is land. We focus on uh, entrepreneur strategies. We focus on capital. But one thing we always forget is labor. Human beings develop when they are treated with respect and provided with environments to learn. So you must remember, human beings develop when they are treated with respect, so it is an appreciating asset. The lazy management strategy for improving productivity is to reduce the denominator, that is, reduce the number of workers. So, this is how you must remember. Hire them when times are good and fire them when the company is not able to compete. This is how lazy managers work. Governments of countries cannot apply this hire and fire strategy. We need to focus on the human capital, because that is the only appreciating asset that we need to have, or we have. If a country is not productive in terms of GDP per unit of population, it's not possible for the government to fire the citizens. Where will the citizens go? Who will take care of them? So for capital scarce and human resource abundant countries, such as developing countries like India, the correct ratio of productivity is output per unit of capital. This must be the driver of business as well as national strategy. So for us, we can't throw off the citizens to increase our GDP, to increase our productivity, to increase our per capita income. What we need to do is focus on the uh, quality skills of the citizens. So by giving them education and innovation and health, etc. The social contract. Schumacher, who's one of an economist, best known for his seminal idea "Small is Beautiful," and his book with the same title, was an economist ahead of time. Capitalism powered with technology would be heading. So he said small is beautiful. So, and he also said capital powered with technology would be the future. In his essay, Industrialization Through Intermediate Technology, published by journal Resurgent in 1966, all this was said by Schumacher, who was a economist. Schumacher had warned that there was a malaise brewing beneath the drive to westernize and technologize economy. So he said industrialization is going to happen with technology, and the countries and the companies will start westernizing and technologizing the companies and the countries. But there needs to be some we need to be careful about some things. The harsh lockdown of the economy in India to prevent the spread of COVID-19 caused the malaise to spill out of for everyone to see. So we have seen people being removed from their companies. We have seen companies closing down. One of the reason is these basics were not taken care of. A good job implies a contract between workers and society. Workers provide the economy with product and services it needs. In return, society and economy must create good working conditions. Government must regulate contract between those who engage people to do work for their enterprise, even in the gig economy. Gig economy means where the workers are working freelance. They are working on a project basis, contract basis. Even in that, the government should see to it that the contracts are done properly and the workers are given what they are due. Because if you continuously go for westernization or technologization, it can't be that you start removing the workers. Danny Roderick says, too often they, that is the government, subsidize labor replacing capital intensive technologies rather than pushing innovation in socially more beneficial directions. Mostly what the governments do, push labor replacing capital intensive technology. But where will the workers go? That is the question that we need to have. So, in conclusion, the power to fix the rules of the game has become concentrated with wealthy investors, multinational corporation. The rules do not favor the workers and tiny enterprises because they have too little power. Large enterprise, they employ fewer people for getting more profits. Therefore, labor unions have lost their support base. Small enterprise and workers must combine to form large association using technology to tilt to reforms. So, what the conclusion you have to give is, it's not that technology is bad, but also human consideration and thinking about the workers is needed. So, when this happens, the country as a whole will rise because every individual makes a country. You can't grow the country just by growing 1 or 2% of people. So this is how the government needs to think. This is how the government needs to take its decision, is said by the writer in this editorial. The next editorial is federalism in India. When we talk about federalism, we know India is a federal country with unitary bias. We have more powers given to the center, but the states are not weak. The states are also important. This is what is written in our constitution. So we have national government and we have state government and we have a balance. And who plays a major role in keeping the balance? We'll see. We are going to talk about is Finance Commission, which is balancing wheel of fiscal federalism. So today's point we are talking about is federalism keeping finance in view. The financial capacity of the state has been weakened. Through various means, government has substantially reduced. Currently, the government, you must have seen, has reduced the fiscal capability of the states. State governments drive a majority of countries' development program. So you must have seen major programs are done by the states. Great numbers of people depend on these programs for their livelihood, development, welfare and security. You must remember states are very important. They take up most of the programs. Now, states need resources to carry out these programs. Unfortunately, the financial capacity of the state is being weakened. How it is being weakened, you will understand. The ability of the states to expand its revenue has been weakened since the GST regime was adopted. The center's resource mobilization space with respect to the states is now far greater. Center can take more money. Remember, in the taxes, center takes in more money through income tax and corporation tax or corporate tax. Center has systematically cut the share of the states in taxes raised by the union government of devolution. So what has happened is center and states, we have center taking more of the income or the money or the tax, whereas states doing more of the work. So it is the duty of the center to give the share in to the states. In constitution you will be seeing article 270 where center and states need to share the taxes. Article 270, remember. It has reduced the pool of funds to be shared with the states by shifting from taxes to cesses and surcharge. In Article 271, we talk about cess and surcharge. In that, it is written that the center can put cess and surcharge, and this money will not go to the state. So just remember Article 270, center and states need to divide the taxes, and 271 consists of cess and surcharge, where the center keeps in all the money. Recently the center is putting more of cess so that they are not liable to give the money to the states. And even GST, where the center had promised that they are going to compensate the states, they have not paid the money to the states. Now, who talks about the devolution? That's the Finance Commission. So every 5 years we have Finance Commission appointed by the President, and we have the 15th Finance Commission by N.K. Singh, headed by N.K. Singh. Remember this name? He's the chairman of the Finance Commission, 15th Finance Commission. And the work of the Finance Commission is to tell the principles on which center and state needs to divide the money, how much money center will keep, how much money states will keep, how much, what are the other things that is there, whichever things President tells to the Finance Commission, it has to do. Currently, 42% out of the money which center receives, 42% should be going to the states. But the center is not giving the exact amount to the states. So the devolution has kept on declining. Finance Commission recommended the share of states in the taxes raised by the union government. Prior to 2014, devolution of the funds to the states were consistently and cumulatively more than the 13 Finance Commission projections. The year 2014-15 commenced with a shock. Actual devolution was 14% less. Means if the advice is given, if the advice is given by the central government, that is the Finance Commission, to the state government, the actual money is not received. That is what you have to remember. The devolution was 42%. Currently, you must remember 42% is the devolution. But are they getting the exact money? Answer is no. The states got 7,97,549 crore less than what was projected. That is 14% less. So you must remember these facts and figures. Shrinking divisible pool. How it is shrinking? As I gave you in Article 271, cess is put more. Union government can retain the whole amount. But the union government keeps more of that revenue and reduces the size of the divisible pool. As a result, the states lose out on their share. Between 2014, 15, 19, 20, cesses and surcharge soared from 9.3% to 15% of the gross tax revenue. Just imagine 15% was the cess which the union government was getting. So you must just remember cess and surcharge. What is the meaning of cess and what is the meaning of surcharge? Cess is a tax on tax for a specific purpose. Surcharge again is a tax on tax, but cess is for a specific purpose. In 2019-20 alone, Union government expected 3,69,111 crores from cesses and surcharge. Just imagine the amount Union government is getting in 1 year through cess. And that is why it is giving more and more focus on cess, because they need not pay to the states. So that is one issue. GST shortfall is an issue. The states are not getting the money. Compensation having been paid from GST cess revenue. GST cesses are levied on sin goods. Those goods like cigarettes and luxury and all these luxurious goods are called as sin goods. So these taxes are put on these goods so that it can be kept aside for compensating the states for GST. Till 2021 it had to be done. So this cess will be there even after 2021. That is one point you have to remember. Secondly, this money which was kept this year, the finance minister said we don't have enough money to pay to the state government. So they are not paying the state government also, and they are going to continue with the cesses. That is what is the situation that you should remember. The union government will not have to pay. Okay, so what you have to remember is the union government will not have to pay a rupee of this as debt or interest, because it's a cess. The entire loan can be repaid out of the assured cess revenue that will continue to accrue by 2022. So they will not have to pay anything to the central government because of this cess. the state government. Of the nearly 3 lakh crore GST shortfall to the states, the center will only compensate 1.8 lakh crore. Central grants are also likely to drop significantly from 31,570 crore allocated to Karnataka. Actual grants may be down to 17,000. So this is just an example where the finance commission devolution is less, GST compensation is less, grants are also less. So just remember these points. Due to the combined effect of the cutbacks in devolution, shrinking divisible pool, failure to pay the full GST, failure to pay the full GST, because of all these things, uh, you must say the states may experience a shortfall of 20 to 25% revenue. States are now forced to resort to colossal borrowings. The fall in funds for development and welfare program will adversely impact livelihoods of crores of Indians. Per capita income, human resource development, and poverty. This is a negative sum game. So this full topic we spoke about how federalism is important and how center needs to give more money, finance to the states so that the states can do their work and the federalism can work properly and these things can happen. Election Commission, that is Nirvachan Sadan. So we are going to talk about the elections and the Election Commission. Election Commission of India is one of the bulwark of democracy in India. Free and fair elections is very essential for a democracy. So that is why we say elections and the Election Commission is very important. So when we talk about Election Commission, what we have to remember is in the elections, who conducts or which is the body or the organization which conducts the election, that's the Election Commission. We're going to talk about the star status. What happened in the current situation? Supreme Court's stay on the revocation of status of former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Kamal Nath as a star campaigner. So we know in Madhya Pradesh there are by-elections going on, and Kamal Nath was a star campaigner, and Election Commission rebuked or removed his status of star campaigner. Supreme Court stayed it. The reason why his status was removed by Election Commission is because of his statements given against Imarti Devi, who is in opposition. Now, what we are discussing over here is like, does Commission has any power? Because Supreme Court has put a stay on this decision by the Election Commission. So our focus is going to be on that. Section 77 of the Representation of People's Act 1951 relates to a candidate's election expenditure. Does leave it to the political party itself to decide who its leaders are and allows every party to submit a list. So Section 77 in the Representation People Act says the political party should tell who is what is its expenditure and who the leaders will be, who the star campaigner will be. What is the importance of the star campaigner? Star campaigner status comes with a clear privilege. The expenditure incurred on the campaign done from the list of star campaigner is not included in the expenditure of the candidate concerned. So it helps in saving the money, and see, every candidate or every you can say candidate has to show how much expenditure is done by he or she. But for a star campaigner, it is allowed that they need not disclose their traveling expenses and all that. So it helps to for the movement using the choppers or the helicopters or etc. So you can save on that expenditure because there is a limit of the expenditure which can be done in the elections. But now Kamal Nath was being said by the Election Commission to take off the star status from Kamal Nath, and the Supreme Court has stayed it for the moment. It stands to reason that ECI, that is Election Commission of India, in exercise of its general power control direction over election ought to have the power to revoke the status if there is an apparent breach of model code of conduct. So model code of conduct, what do you mean by model code of conduct? Model code of conduct means uh, it's a rules or regulations that every election political party should follow whenever there is elections, and if they are not, election commission of India can take strict action against them. But is it happening? The answer is no. Election of commission of India has a lot of negative points. It needs to be given more powers, needs to be given more teeth, so that uh, the political parties can behave better and elections can be done smoothly. It is indeed debatable whether the ECI has been exercising its powers in an even handed way in recent years. However, it is equally important that the ECI's power to enforce full poll norms and clean campaigns is not unduly abridged. So, more teeth needs to be given to the Election Commission of India, and it needs to be given more power so that elections can be done fairly. We know Election Commission of India is according to Article 324, and its main focus is to have free and clean elections. And in case of UPSC, a lot of questions coming on this topic, and you can mention in the current about the star status. The next is federalism. So we spoke of one area of federalism and finance. Here we are going to talk about federalism, language, and Karnataka, specifically focusing on Karnataka. So you will get an idea something about Karnataka, which is going on in Karnataka, which is going on in Bangalore, and about the federalism there. Link it with the federalism. Is linguistic nationalism on the wane? Earlier we have seen in many states fight for on language was going on, starting with Tamil Nadu, later on in various areas, so it leads to regionalism. But is linguistic nationalism declining at this time each year? How do we know what is the context? At this time each year there is a lot of celebration of Rajyotsav in Karnataka, commemorating the Karnataka Day on 1st of November 1957, because of the Karnataka which was formed in 1956. So before that it was Mysore, then later it was converted into Karnataka, and all these November 1st, you must remember November 1st is the Karnataka Day. The red and yellow Karnataka flags fly high. So this is the red and yellow, though it is not an officially declared, but yeah. The red and yellow Karnataka flags fly high, street corners blast off iconic Kannada songs. This year, Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa declared that neither the token day nor month is good enough, and a whole year instead will be dedicated to the promotion of Kannada. So the Chief Minister said, no, just one day or a month will not be enough to develop, or you can say commemorate Kannada, but the whole year is focused on Kannada. That is what Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa said. This year, the spirit of Rajyotsav is definitely muted. So this year it was muted. It was not so much due to various reasons. First was the COVID-19. Second one was uh, to keep up with the science and now the digital world. Clearly, fight to declare Kannada as a classical language in 2008 did little to achieve this connect. So the reason why so much of pomp and show did not happen in the on the Karnataka Day, reason was, first was COVID-19, which is all over the country and the world. Second was, slowly the languages, especially Kannada, is losing its charm. It was declared a classical language in 2008, but it has not developed or not gone ahead after this. Even the Kannada University, established in 1991, it's just uh, shows just symbolic, or it is only for literary, folklore, and cultural studies rather than human and natural sciences. If language does not focus on human and natural sciences, it does not grow. Severely damaged economy and two by elections. So recently we had the whole economic collapsing, and then by elections are coming up. So all this, there was no show and pomp for the Karnataka day. The calls for the claims commissioner in riot cases, law against love jihad, and for a branch of NIA in Bengaluru, since it has become a terror hub. So all these things were overshadowing the Rajyotsav celebrations. Anti-Citizenship Act protest, farmers' agitation, state laws and central acts, demand for reservations. All this led to the rise of various other factors rather than Karnataka being the celebrations of Kannada or Karnataka state being into focus. Today, Gandhinagar's Sandalwood, as a center of Kannada film industry, is ironically called is in disarray. So the Kannada film industry, that is also called as the Gandhinagar's Sandalwood, is in a lot of problem. Scandal. You must have heard about the drug scandal in the Kannada film industry. Kannada remains a beleaguered language in the state capital. In Bengaluru itself, Kannada is not spoken much. Bengaluru, to which people from the entire country have flocked for job, education, and opportunity. Its inferiorized status in everyday life stems from the long held belief that cosmopolitanism of the city has freed middle class migrants of any such obligation of learning the local language. So many people from outside has led to the local languages being affected. Bengaluru also must be the only city in the country where the local, again largely working class, takes pride in speaking several languages, including those of most of its immigrants. So there is a class divide now, and this is happening not only with Kannada but many of the country's language. The Karnataka Rakshana Vedike and the other Kannada organizations and even opposition leaders have taken umbrage at the significant absence of Karnataka flag at the official functions on November 1st to them. This is a sign of federal courtesies being violated. It is better now more focus rather than Kannada and uh, culture and federalism is on better jobs, refurbished and reliable healthcare, and improved primary education that states should take pride in. So there is a debate. On one side, we have should we take pride in the culture, language, and our and other factors, or on the healthcare, primary education, etc. What many people believe or what the writer says, you need to take a balance of the two rather than focusing on just one side. So this is the debate that you need to focus on. This is what how we need to focus on the topic. So this is all for the day. Remember, the art and science of asking question is source of all knowledge.